Hello, and welcome to another art stream. I'm going to be doing some work on finishing up some of the creatures I created, and I'm going to make some new ones tonight. I'm really excited to play around with this idea some more. It was really fun last time, so I'm excited to look up some stuff. And if anyone has suggestions, I'm always excited to hear what yours. I mean, the best drawing I did last time was based off of a suggestion, so. I think actually I'm going to start by working on the while I'm waiting for people to come in. I'm going to work on some of these D&D characters. So, anyway, okay. How's it both like warm in here, but not warm enough for? I'll turn it on for a little bit because I feel like I'm starting to get kind of warm in here. I don't want to be uncomfortable while I'm drawing. I might have to turn that off. But happy Friday, everyone. I thought I'd try and go back to doing these early, especially because I might be kind of tired today, but I figure I can work through it easier if I start earlier. Okay. It would be fun to make something based off of Stegosaurus, but I haven't thought of what. I'll have to look through my... Because it's not just, Oh yeah, I forgot I was going to do that. I have a picture of it somewhere in here, because I was, like, grabbing a whole bunch of different dinosaurs. Oh, here they are. Okay. Here's my... Because I was grabbing a lot of reference for, tonight. I might try to do a T-Rex, but I haven't decided what I want. Hello! Glad you can make it! I made a lot more progress on on this boy. It's coming along nice. I'm gonna finish it up tonight, I think, actually. This is a cool one too. I think I might... I found this one really cool looking long neck that I might draw tonight too. It's got like spikes on its back. It's really cool. I'm trying to think of what kind of creature. I was leaning towards... Yeah, I was leaning towards maybe a Hydra, but there might be other snakes I might... Or like, not dragon specifically, but like dragon serpent-like creatures from fairy tales and folklore. Because Hydra seems a little bit too on the nose, or like too much of a thing that people go to when they think of like long neck. So I'm trying. I'll try and think of something. Also, the what's it? Hatequapteryx. It's this giant flying. Is it a late Cretaceous creature? I've seen people do that. I would like to do that too sometime. Probably on like on another day, I'll make an entire day out of that. Like I'll do when there's I don't think when the next game is even coming out, because I was gonna say like it'd be fun to do it as like a promote, like a in in line with like a release of a game, but they're so bad about releasing games now. It's like they try to make every one of them so big now that it's like I'd have to wait another year for a game to do something based on the game. So, but yeah, no, I would definitely do something like that. I'd love to like make yes, Quetzalcoatl is the one I want actually, because this is the smaller version. Yeah, I meant to look that up and I found a picture of this one. But yeah, the Quetzalcoatl, that one's the one I like a lot. It's got like the giraffe neck. It's like I think it's the biggest flyer that ever existed, but I could be wrong on that. There could be something like a prehistoric like eagle that's bigger than them, for all I know. But if there is, I'd be pretty impressed to see it. So, yeah, I was working on redoing this one's pose because I kind of thought it was a little bit too of a bit of it was a little too like straightforward and generic kind of pose. I mean, it was good for getting roughing out the concept, but I think why is it like that? Oh, because it was the wrong brush. Yes. Well, to be where the sorry, I just keep seeing. I'm on a dinosaur ref page and I keep finding toys, and I'm like, I want that. I want that. Oh, totally. Yeah. No, I do that all the time. Some of my favorite drawings are redraws. So, I mean, heck, I already found some better looking. I definitely knew already that I was gonna redraw this. No. Well, I'm already redrawing this guy again, and this is a redraw. I'm cleaning this one up, but and this is a redraw for my character. Even like I made her like a more just like cleaned up her line work a little bit because she was the old one worked for me, but it wasn't fun to show other people. It was like, I swear she looks better in the comic. I promise you. Oh yeah, and then there's that I was working on earlier. Where's the other one? Maybe I didn't. Oh, you know where it is? It's right here. I forgot that they were on the same drawing, so I'm definitely going to redraw this one on its own. Because I have a few ideas. I also want to figure out something that mixed with an ankylosaurus. Because, I mean, they're one of my favorites too. Oh, I can't remember the name. There was a I'm sure I could find them if I look really hard on or not even that hard on either Twitter or on DeviantArt even. But there was a artist who did a hyper realistic um Pokemon that looked like prehistoric creatures, but I forget what their name was. But they made an entire book of them. Maybe. Like, yeah, maybe like an... I... See, I kind of already did a... well, I did a fire elemental ankylosaurus a long time ago. I'll show you. Because back when I was, after I did that drawing of the Leshen T-Rex, I got in the mood to draw more of them. So, I think it's in here somewhere. Oh, here. Nope, that's not it. But, I tried to draw some other creatures that were, like, prehistoric. Oh, here it is. Yeah, right here. Yeah, here's my fire elemental, or, like, fire atronach, ankylosaurus. Still one of my... I think it still came out really good, so I'm pretty happy with it. For being from last year. So... I like the... But, like... I might redraw this character, this thing. Because it's good, but I think I could draw it better now that I mean, I could read... Since I need to redraw this creature anyway for the comic, I would like to make it look a little better. So... Because this is the T-Rex Leshen. Ooh. That sounds really cool. I'll have to look... If you remember it, let me know. I'd love to look that up. Like, I don't draw horror, but I love pulling from it for my own influence. Just jack draw. Oh, once I'm gonna do that really quick. Let's see. Oops. Oops. Just. Oh. Really, guys? No. Huh. I see this name showing up, but I don't see... Huh. That's weird. Anyway, I'll look it up later. Now that I have it written down, like, I can at least, like, make sure that I look it up later. Let's see, what should we do? I'll go back to this one. Just clean up this. But it would be fun to do something with Pokemon as well. I'd have to think about it. I mean, the obvious and quick one would be to, like, do one based on, like, where did you... I looked up on Twitter. Where'd you look up? Because maybe I'm just looking in the wrong spot. Maybe they're only on, like, Blue Sky. Nope, not there either. I'm just looking right on... Well, his... Oops. No, guys, I just want to go... Okay. I found their oh, I'm already subscribed. That's funny. That yeah, no, I found their I am subscribed to their YouTube channel. I forgot. I have so many people I'm subscribed to that it's easy to forget who's on my list. I'm sure that's why I'm almost certain that's why I probably subscribed to them, is I saw some of their Pokemon art. But yeah, these look great. Yeah, I love these. Especially because like they're doing like what I'm doing right now, where I get like real pictures of animals and use them for reference to make sure that everything looks pretty close to what it should. But yeah, like there's just so many, and this video has like several that they're working on, so really cool stuff. I mean, some works better than others, but they all look really cool. I mean, that's how I'd say the same thing about my art. Oh, this one's wow, that's crazy. Like a Pidgeot with like some like a necromantic Pidgeot. That's so cool. I like that. Right? Really good stuff. Because the other person I was thinking of does was someone who did it before them, and I think they even got maybe like honorable mention by Pokemon because of how well rendered their art was. But they did one with like each of the evolutions, but they were all like highly rendered. I can't remember what their name was, but they were really good too. But these are even more fun because these are like artistic, yeah, artistic license pretty much. Like they're just like taking them and being like, but what if I change them this way and that kind of, and I like that. Yeah. Cause yeah, that's pretty cool. Like just like switching out and making like changing the wings into like hand, like using hand anatomy for the wings. That's so cool. But like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I got. Let's see what we got for this guy. Trying to think what else we can. Let's look up wonder if I can find anything on here on them. Oh, okay. That's cool. Someone made fairies based off of different flowers. That's a cool thing, too. Hello! Thanks for dropping in. Just doing some cool dinosaurs mixed with fairy tale in like fairy creatures and like folk creatures from folklore. Right now, I'm finishing up this one for Spinosaurus, mixed with a kelpie, and I'm really excited with how it's coming out. It's like pretty much it's one of those rare times where like the concept just came out just how I wanted. So I'm just trying to figure out now. While I'm drawing it, I'm also trying to figure out the next drawing, which is going to be probably finishing up that other one too, because I was working on Dinosaurs. Whoops. And oops, that's now that I might redo this one next afterwards, possibly. So, but this is the Therizinosaurus. It was in Jurassic Park, one of the new Jurassic World, one of the new ones, but this is going to be mixed with a fairy creature, and I was going to just make it very like. I might actually show some of its skeleton, make it like almost like see-through. And maybe like give it like maybe the arms will be like see-through, and then like the main body won't be, or it'll be like a kind of like a white raven kind of thing. I don't know, I'll play with it. I'll play around with it. I think even this pose, like even making the arms out more, makes it look a little better than it did before. I do like the big eyes that were on it before, so I'm probably gonna add those back in. But I need to look up more. Let me see if there's anything on here about it. See, because the one from Jurassic Park definitely has a beak, but and sometimes they do, but then other ones don't. Although, now that I'm looking at the art, let's see. Actually, it does have a beak. So I'm going to add that back in. I don't know why, but the art that I was looking at was bad art, so I apologize. So now we can go back to like the pure like the crow design that I wanted to do, like the or like the raven head on this thing. I wonder why I didn't. Why I could. You know what it was? I was using concept art instead of, and instead of a skeleton. And when I found a skeleton, it was an older skeleton, and I think it wasn't a good one. Because I found one a more recent one, ironically through Twitter. And yeah, it looks way better. Because they're actually. I need, based on these, yeah, based on this, I need to fix this. Because the next longer than that. So let's maybe even make it like doing a cool, like looking sideways at you kind of. Like its head's kind of cocked while it's watching someone from a distance. Yeah, I think this makes this one so much more fun. Now that I can go in and like really play with the. I kind of want to do like the Avatar, where like the owl, where like the when its neck is outstretched, it kind of like the feathers kind of puff up. I always thought that looked kind of cool. And this is just obviously the rough drafting version of it, so I'll make it look better once I get to the actual like finished version. But it's already better now that it's got a longer neck, I think. Because yeah, it has like a small. It has a not a huge head, but it does have a. But I can even like shift it to have more of like a raven kind of like face, like I mean, or like a beak. And this one's based off of a fairy that protects people's wishes. Like if you feel like you've lost your way, it's really been holding on to your dream, and like you'll find it again later. I thought it was kind of a nice like hopeful based fairy, because usually they are just jerks who take things or mess with humans. So this is a Sealy. Does it? I mean, I'm seeing someone with like longer, maybe not that long. You know, yeah, it's not that long. You're right, but it's longish. It's I'm because I'm seeing a skeleton in unless these are old, because but some people. This might be closer to what they look like actually, and they don't. You're right. So you know what I can do? I can to fix it. I can just pull this back in a little bit, because the creature I'm basing it off of doesn't have a long neck, so that's not important to the design. So what I can do is just erase all that and just bring this back in. But I like the head being kind of like on an angle a little bit. Oops, I keep grabbing the wrong. Quit. Like that. Also, they're not as wide as this. I think I can make this a little thinner. Because that's the other part that's kind of wrong here. I think what happened was I was being a little too literal with the chicken base, because a lot of theropods have like we were talking about last time. They all have that same like leg structure of like birds, like and but I think these ones are more like other types of birds. They're not actually like T-Rex is the one that has more like the leg structure closer to it, like a chicken, but just like obviously reinforced a lot more for like being that big. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit distorted because it's part fairy, but I think that's better. Yeah, just stick with like. Yeah, no, you're right. I, I already have another long neck, so I'm trying. I swear, there has to be a create. I'll have to think about it. Maybe I won't even be able to get that one done tonight because I want that to be a cool ideal of like a creature that like. Yeah. Oh no, don't worry. I'm trimming down on the legs because they. I'm looking at a rendering of one of them and it looks much. Their claws aren't this big either, but I can. Again, that's part of the fairy too, so I'm changing a bit just for the fact that he's a. It's got that fairy folklore, like it's the creature, the fairy thing creature that I'm basing off of does have long fingers, so that's why it's got like these. More like big grippers. Yeah, exactly. Well, like we said with the, I mean, look what even archaeology, I mean, paleontologists have done um, with the Spinosaurus. Like they kept changing their mind left and right on what it looked like and what it did. Same with Allosaurus. Allosaurus went through so many different changes in like the last 20 years because everyone was like, "Oh, it's the weakest, or one of the weaker theropods, so it must be a scavenger." Because, and then for a while they even were saying T Rex was a scavenger, and then they took away that T Rex was a scavenger, but I think they kept saying that Allosaurus was a scavenger until they realized where it lived, it was plenty strong and didn't need to scavenge really. Like it also ran like it's Allosaurus is actually, I believe, the fastest of the carnivorous theropods, like of the T Rex of that family. Like it I think it went up to like 35 to 40 miles an hour, which is like at least 10 to 15 miles faster than the T Rex could get. So, and to be fair, it was smaller, but yeah, that's that too. It's kind of like how there's that one squid now. Oh, I'm blanking on the name of it right now, but there's a squid, red. Oh gosh, what were they called? Um, the name will come to me in a second, but they usually a squid you think of as and you're like, oh, okay, they're cool looking creatures, but they're not really that scary. But these ones hunt in packs of like thousands. So you see one, there might be like an entire colony swimming underneath you. So yeah, Allosaurus hunting in packs definitely makes it scary. Yes, humbled squid. Yeah, that's right. Yep, there's. And the scary thing is, they can communicate over a distance with each other just by changing their color. So like, you could just like see a squid and go, "Huh, I wonder why it's changing color," and then all of a sudden, like, 50 squid just cover you and pull you into the depths. It's like, oh, thanks, nightmare fuel. True eldritch beasts. That's, I mean, that's scarier than a Pokemon. I don't know that one that's first early from first edition, that what was it called, the jellyfish one is pretty creepy when you find out like what it does, like the fact that it was a it did mind control on both people and other Pokemon. It's like, oh, cool. They're like an alien species that is pretending to be just a native monster. Yeah, Tentacruel, yes. I think they even had to get rid of that episode because it was too possibly too scary or too violent for kids. I forget the reason. I think it was something like that. I think this being so dark. Well, I mean, it's going to be dark to begin with, so I'm just going to change the hue because I'm going to switch over to doing the brights now, which are going to be like maybe yeah, it's going to have these really bright color schemes in it. Not all of it, but just like I'm going to like just give out like this beautiful but unsettling luminous kind of look to it. Like it's a kind creature, but it's also like an ethereal being kind of creature. Actually, I'm gonna make those a different color, like a blue, I think. And it's gonna have like this angelic kind of glow to it, like a light in the darkness kind of creature. Like I'm thinking of oh, I love it. Yeah, it's such a unique and fascinating like random thing that certain creatures have. That or just ultraviolet in general. Like some creatures, like since we don't see that very well without technology, like it's crazy when you find out like what kind of creatures have like ultraviolet coloring on them, or like bioluminescent like hidden, where it's like I think it was like platypus apparently have that, and so do like scorpions are a bright color when they're in like when you see when you look at them you can see them in the dark easily that way. Maybe something. Yeah, and the rendering I'm looking at of this creature, someone drew it white, so that's what also inspired me to make this like kind of like angelic. I kind of like the idea of it being mostly kind of just like white. What the? But yeah, it's such a cool trait that randomly, like random creatures have. I think see, I'm always worried spouting things that I see on social media. I saw something and I'm not sure of the validity of this because I haven't been able to check some real sources, but I saw somewhere that this lab in Germany made a spider that had bioluminescent red thread, and I'm like, I need to look into this some more to make sure that that's true because that's a big claim. I mean, it's not it doesn't sound impossible, but it sounds improbable at the time. I mean, I could see a use for something like that, so maybe, but I'd like to actually see the proof. Not just a thumbnail and like some on some page, you know? Because you see a lot of those. Yeah. Well, I know that that spider silk is something that's being heavily sought in like ways to like make it easier to produce, and because I mean, like the way that they make it, it could become more useful. It could like make Kevlar 10 times more useful if it was made that way. So there's definitely that, and just like in general, like just having a creature that could just produce that would be. I mean, having something like that would be so useful. Let's see. Nope, that's bad. Trying to find some good brushes. It's kind of cool, but it's not quite what I want. Nope. Actually, that would be cool, kind of for like a ethereal kind of like glow effect around, like they almost have like this like ethereal kind of like energy floating around them. Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, I'm liking the shape better now already. I think it's I'm thinning it out a little bit by doing this, and I think this will definitely give it more interesting shape. But like something based around what other creatures? While I'm just, let's see. I think actually what I might do is well, here's another one that looks more like a better rendering, where it looks more like a bird mixed with a mammal kind of look to it, which is what it would probably look closer to, where like the feathers actually go all the way down to here, kind of, and just kind of like I can just extend them a little bit, but they're like yeah. I'll get a sharper brush. This one's really wide, but I always like patterns on birds. I think that looks like some of these renderings kind of show like just one colored feather, but birds have so many different interesting configurations for their feathers. So I don't want to just make them look so basic. I think I'm going to try that thing with making it partially bioluminescent, like... Well, let's see. What does its skeleton look like again? Oh, its skeleton wouldn't even be facing that way. It'd be... But there's a scary type of Thank you. Yeah, that's what I love, is just playing with contrast. There's a dark fairy that from Celtic folklore that um, is one of those like early like ones that one of the ones that you had to like that could chase you. It was like an ill omen kind of. It chased you, and you could if you could get over water, it couldn't come after you. But it was like I believe it looked like a horse, but it didn't have any. It was just muscle. It didn't have any skin. So something like that, but with doing that with like a Carnotaurus would look so cool. Like have like maybe like that would be a scarier one though. But I'll put a warning up when I'm doing that one. It's like kiddos, go to bed. We're entering the scary part of the for Zubals only. Mature. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I mean, worst case, it doesn't work, and I can do something else with a Allosaurus, like a Carnotaurus or an Allosaurus, and play around with that idea. I'm not gonna do all the skeleton. I'm just gonna do it for the transparent chest cavity kind of thing. Is kind of cool, but I don't think I need the rest. Because actually, if it was transparent, even I don't even think. Whoops. It wouldn't actually even be like that. Well, I'll fix it later. I can just... Yeah. Because if it was... Oh, this is a hairbrush, I think. Is it? Maybe. Nope. It's just a... Interesting. Yeah, sometimes you see these brushes and you're like, oh, I know what they do, and then it's like, wait, no, I don't. I was wrong. Because some of my brush libraries are really good because I kept them like to themselves. Like I have a brush. I think it's right where to go. I think I have one just called like the Frenin brushes, and they're like it's like all the stuff that comes from downloading that set. And I also have like these ones which are like some from I think Groot brushes. They're pretty nice. They're more for like natural brush look to things. Yeah, like this one. It's got like a watery edge to it, kind of. G pens are the best, honestly. I have so many different types of G pens, and most of mine were free. I just go. What I do is I just go onto the every time I log into um, Clip Studio, I just check and see what their free brushes are. And if they have a new G pen I want to try out, I'll give it a shot. And if I don't like it, I'll just take it out of the library. But most of them I've liked a lot, so. But yeah, no, I could see that's probably. I might like do a housekeeping on it though a little bit because it's getting kind of a little bit over the top right now. Or at least I'll maybe organize them a little bit better so that I can get to them faster. Because during a stream it's kind of annoying being like, I think this is where this brush is. Oh, nope, it's not. Yeah, I used to do that. If you just put the hardness up, you can use an airbrush to do line work. So I don't think that's too odd. It's a because just the way I paint, I just don't worry too much about like whether something looks perfect the first time around. Because I'll do a couple passes on different layers, and that's why like I'm so careful these days about like not doing so much on one layer, because that way I can always just go back and be like, well, this layer doesn't work very well. Let's lower the opacity and paint over it, or do this or do that kind of thing. Oh, see, it depends on the day. Some days I'm like that too, but like with the right brush, I can go. Let me see if I can find one of them. Oh, here's one. Like, see, this one has a nice. It's a small range, but I can go from that to that kind of, and I like. I like having that option sometimes, especially for just doing like line work. Yeah, I don't like that. That's too much. But yeah, I definitely understand that. Like, ironically, that's kind of like right now. I'm running into that like that kind of like issue with or like that kind of like way of thinking with live 2D where like I'm kind of like whenever I get stuck in live 2D I kind of try and just like I'll try and like use a technique that I think will work, but it's just like a placeholder kind of technique for for what I'm working on. Like for instance, like when I was I might have to redo the mouth because when I was doing the mouth, I kind of I didn't do the clipping mask right, and I probably will have to fix that because it's a bit of a mess. Like it works, but I want it to look better. Like if I could just get it cleaner, then it would probably work. It would, but we'll see. If I can, if I take it into like VTube Studios and it looks okay, I'm not doing anything because there's so much more to do. Like the wings haven't been finished yet, and I really want to get those done. I was hoping to get the model done by the end of summer, so time clock's ticking. Oops. I'm gonna do I'm gonna see. This is another effect where I'm gonna make my own a separate layer just because I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this. And then if I do, I can always just flatten it down. But this way I don't kind of like that. Yeah, not maybe not that size, but I like the effect, like the glow. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that. Yes, especially because I want the feathers to look like they have some physics, and they're gonna move, like like these ones. They're gonna actually like flex. I'm thinking I might even have like an emote where I make when I get excited they flap faster. That'd be kind of cool because I've seen people do that. Like oh, there's so many I can't even. My brain's just like trying to think of one, but there's several like big VTubers like that I follow that do that. Or they'll have like wings on their head and they bounce up when they get excited. Those move a lot. So yeah. Yeah, I kind of like the particles flying around too. Plus, these are ethereal wings, so that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to make a. I mean, that shouldn't be too hard though. Just having a something that makes them kind of like go in and out of, change the opacity every couple seconds on like a slider. They'll just, because the other option that would take more memory would be having them shimmer like waves of opacity. Like there's like parts of them that are more transparent than the others. And that might be for the version 2.0 because the I just that would take a lot longer to do probably, whereas like just getting the just making them transition back and forth shouldn't be as hard. So I'll probably do that. Kind of like the feathers that are like make like a pattern almost like the kind of like that where like they yeah kind of like that. Yeah, it's definitely coming along. It looks I already like this one way better than I did yesterday, so I'm pretty happy with how it's moving along right now. And maybe I'll do like the wish, because like I'll make a different layer for this. But in the drawing, I saw even that yeah, okay. Because the kind of interesting thing about this creature is that it has like a dark reflection that I believe takes hope. So what if it's just the same creature and sometimes they go feral? Would be kind of cool. Like what if it's pushed, or if it's left in a realm of despair for too long, it starts to adapt and feed on despair instead of hope. So this could be like maybe it's one of those creatures that could be either good or bad kind of thing, depending on where it is. It's not necessarily, since this is turning more into like an animal instead of just a plain, just flat out fairy folk creature. It's kind of a mix. It could be either. It would be kind of cool. This one's good. It's a creature that brings you, holds on to your dreams for you, and will show them to you at a later date if you feel when you feel like, if you feel like you've lost your way. It'll remind you that you do have, that hope does exist for you. So I want to give it this like kind of like magical, like almost like omniscient, like eerie but regal kind of look to it. Like, yeah, surreal almost. So, ooh, these could be the wish. I was gonna draw these, but there's a brush that makes the shape. These could be the people's wishes and dreams, represented as these orbs of light floating around it. Yeah, see, it's a makes it look much nicer when you just like put it in like a. That looks like snow more than glowing grass, though. I think I might have to change that. Yeah. I'll put it on a different layer. Well, it could be snow would be. Well, maybe if it's taller, it will. See, that doesn't look like grass. I think I have a grass brush actually. It's a little bit too much. Nope, not enough. Yeah, something like that would be kind of cool. And then just go into like. Giving it a little bit more color to make it feel more inviting. Maybe lower the opacity slightly just so it's more transparent, but yeah, but still kind of giving it more. Ooh. Trying to find a good brush for grass. Come on, grass. Or this could be like a mist, actually. That'd be kind of cool. It's coming along pretty cool. I think I might move over to the other one, back to the other one though, because this one's, well, saving it would be good, Sean. I know, Sean. So what? Oh, whoops. Okay. Sorry. I like how it's coming along, and it's already looking a bit more friendly. It's not supposed to look totally friendly. Like I said, it's a since it's got Therizinosaurus in it, it's an unpredictable wild creature, so it can be both good and bad. But giving it the ability to hold dreams and hope, or being like a bastion for that. Maybe it just like it just exudes like maybe it's kind of like a good version of those oh well, there's a type of vampire that feeds off of people in exchange for like being amused to them, but maybe this is just purely like it gives you hope just being near you. Like it just want it. Its whole purpose and goal in its existence is to bring people a feeling of hope. And it could like, oh, whoa, that's kind of cool for like a wind kind of thing, but nah, not for this guy, not for this fella. Okay, here's some of the plants, but I need to find the grass one. Because I wanted to do something cool where the grass was glowing. Nope. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I like the. I was saying how I want this to be a creature that like its main purpose is giving people hope just by being near it. It like emanates it, but when it's starved of hope, it feeds off despair. So it's both. Because there's another version of this fairy that's unseelie, and I figure it'd be kind of cool to mix them into one creature, so that like it's one. It kind of like it can be both. Since it's a wild animal, it would make sense that it could adapt its diet, kind of like how there's certain herbivores that do eat meat when they have to. Ooh, that's cool. I like that color. That's what this is. Yeah, this is a. Oh yeah, you know you're saying that. Never mind. Yeah, I'll do that too. So true. So this is an overlay. So why is it? Oh right, I forgot. You don't you don't keep it at 100. I'm like, why is it so bright? I'm like, oh right, because it's not supposed to be that high resolution. Yeah. Was also gonna do something with the grass, maybe. But I'm trying to find a good brush for the grass. Where it right? No, it's been a really help that really helped that other drawing, so I'm definitely gonna keep using that. Here we go. Here's a grass brush. Let's make it its own layer. And make it a little bit smaller because it's huge. That's a little better. I kind of like that purple actually. That's really cool. Not that purple. Yeah, it kind of gives it like this, like a very ethereal kind of feel to it. I might even like. I know that's good. I think if I and I can even maybe. Yeah. I was gonna say darken it a little bit more. Yeah. Because then it makes it look like this like thing that like exists, just it like pops into our dimension from time to time and it just changes the landscape around it. Like it just has this like shimmer effect on everything. That's pretty cool. I can definitely play with it some more, but I'll let it sit for a second to go back to this. I think. Oops, not this. These. No, there's still more I want to do with this. Yeah, right. it's a it's a Therizinosaurus with fairy hybrid with domain expansion. It's like hope expansion. Everyone be inspired. It kind of makes me think of something that would be really cool to happen in the comic, actually, where like June just like kind of is witnesses it and it causes her to like get really. It's like part of her growth is that she just witnesses this creature and it just gives her drive when she was losing it or something like that. Like maybe like it appears and then she sees her grandmother's face and remembers why she loves music so much or something like that would be kind of cool. Oh, that sounds a little Harry Potter-ish. So, but I could play around with something like that. I'm getting too painterly right now. Yeah. Yeah. It could even be one of those cool but like thing that they do in. I mean, like fairy folk can bend reality, so like it could be even like a thing like you see in stories where like she's walking through the woods or like through a wooded park area in the city maybe, and between two trees it just suddenly appears and she just looks over like what the heck, like where'd that come from, and it just like does its like domain expansion and she's like wait what. But yeah, something like that'd be kind of cool. lose this texture. I mean, the quality of the mane in the near the head. So I'm definitely gonna add that back in because I like that a lot. Get rid of some of these lines. Yeah, because that art book is what inspired me to do this. But like, it'd be really fun to see some of these creatures show up in the comic, or in future. Well, I mean, this one's they don't even if they don't like interact with the characters, having them in the background or something would be pretty cool. Or mentioned even like in Last Airbender, where like they just sometimes they'll reference a creature and you never see what it actually looks like. Like a snake weasel. It's like I think I know what that looks like. I don't need to see it, so I'm kind of glad they never showed that. It's like I got an idea. Yeah, I would love to see like Richard fight one of these, or try and like escape one of these. That'd be pretty cool. 'Cause he's a tough guy, but like him being like, no, 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 run, just run. It's like, no, not worth it. Run. It's like maybe we could win, but sure, but no, run. It's like, maybe we'll escape, but it's definitely gonna hurt us really bad in the escape. So how about not fighting it? Yeah, that would be actually kind of cool, like a chase kind of thing. Because well, the funny thing is with June with this thing, she's trying to save its child, and that's what she has, and she's not scared of it at all. But she is like smart enough to know to run from it. Like the first time she sees it, she's trying to save it as well, but she realizes really quick that like it's beyond saving. The Leshen has like rooted itself so deep into the Tyrannosaurus Rex that it unfortunately has just caused like so much damage to the T Rex, and it's like affecting it in a really negative way. And she knows it's not going to last much longer, so she just makes it her mission to save this little one so it doesn't turn into being like its mother. And I'll play the Littlefoot music when it passes away. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that evil. You gotta get up. God. Ah, my heart. Curses my heart. Stop beating. Stop feeling feelings. Yes. That's pretty much what that is. It's like it's the same thing, yeah, where it's just like, "Oh no, little guy. I'm so sorry." The funny thing is though is that like they really demonize I mean, it's for cinema effect, but like they really demonize the Tyrannosaurus Rex in that, and I'm like, if it's attacking an entire family, if it's bold enough to attack an entire family of like these I think they were Brontosaurus, it's probably has an entire family starving because they would not be that bold unless they really needed the food. So it's trying to save its babies too. The funny thing is, there's a later movie with a baby T Rex, and it's much happier. That story, kind of. Because in the later films, they're like, these are just for the kids, so let's not like traumatize them. I'm like, no, keep traumatizing them. Come on, I got to deal. I had to deal with it. The new kids should deal with it too. You know, I don't. But not for the reason you'd think. I don't like them because it's not about the creatures. If it was more about the creatures, I would love those movies. When I saw the first preview for that one, the first movie, I was like, Steve Irwin meets Harry Potter, sign me up. And then the movie's like, oh, and there's also this dark magician, and I'm like, snore. I already saw this movie. I don't need to see this movie again. I don't want a dark magician. I want Steve Irwin, Chimera Hunter. I want him wrestling like manticores. That's kind of what made me make like Grace is essentially that. Grace is essentially Steve Irwin, but with like fantasy creatures. She loves these animals so much, even though they're like really. Is it though? Is it one of those like versus shows? Because I know there's like an animal versus kind of thing on Animal Planet. But yeah, Grace is essentially that. She's like trying to. I mean, she's got ulterior motives on top of that as well. It's not like she's just doing this for the animals alone. But she, as she was doing her mission, she kind of fell in love with the animals and kind of decided she wanted to save them as well. Because she realizes that it's not their fault that they didn't ask to come to our realm in many cases. They're from the Fey realm, and they kind of migrated through like rifts and ended up in our world, and she's trying to make sure that they can stay alive, and that they don't, and or she's making sure that certain ones don't venture out of areas because they could destroy ecosystems if they leave specific areas, like they're They're just too unique and bizarre to be in our world. Well, like for instance, these kind of creatures. Like this thing would just decimate our ecosystem. So she kind of just finds ways to keep them in one spot and safe. Ah, yes. I know, but the shriek, yeah, those things, yeah. What? Oh my gosh! Wow. Dark. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that. I've never made it to the center of a Tootsie Pop. Let's go ask Mr. Owl. Oh my gosh, what happened to Mr. Owl? Ah, the humanity. Oh, why? It wasn't his time. No. Gosh, that'd be so. How many licks to the center? The world will never know. And sorry for traumatizing your kids. Sheesh. That makes me think of the those old dark tales for Reynard the Fox. I don't know if you've ever heard that of him. Like they reused that for if you've ever seen the show Magicians, that's where they came up with Reynard. Is he's a folk tale that I'm trying to think where he's from. I can't remember exactly where he first popped up, but yeah, he's this dark. He's just a horrible creature that just like was too sly for his own good and chose violence and every time. Hi, hey, ninja. Sorry, I just saw you pop in there. Did they? I don't know. It was close. I mean, I just had a fun time meeting a bunch of people like you, for instance. I didn't like. I'm more happy that I got to meet a whole bunch of really cool new artists instead of because being a smaller streamer, it's hard to run into people that much unless I find them through bigger streamers. But it was so nice when I met so many people during that. Because I mean, other than the badge, was there any other thing you got from winning? I can't remember. I thought it was just a badge. Hello! Wow, great, everyone's here. Get the whole gang now. Cool. Hi, I'm doing a bunch of drawings of fantasy creatures like from folklore and like fairy folk mixed with dinosaurs tonight. So, and it's been really fun playing around with different creatures. Like this is a Spinosaurus mixed with the Aleshan. And where'd my book go? I have a book on fairy folk. Here it is, by Brian Froud. It's really beautiful artwork in it. Yeah, it's coming along great. Yeah, the Therizinosaurus mixed with this creature that I'm trying to look up the name of right now, but wait, that's the bad ones. Grig, it's somewhere in here. I'm really close to it. I feel it's a type of creature that like I think they're called like it's like a fancy or something they're called or something like, or no, here it is, the retriever. Yeah. It basically holds on to your dreams, like unclaimed or unfollowed dreams. It holds on to them. Yeah. So it's like this creature that and I mixed them together and make this like interesting feral beast that is kind of a combination of the two. So this one's like, these are all these little orbs circling around them are representative of like lost goals and dreams that it's returning to other people or returning to the same person if they can. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's kind of like, but those are claws though. It has long claws at the ends of it that it uses to pluck the dreams out of the air really quick. So and I even had a fun idea where like maybe it could go, if left in a dark area left in a hopeless area too long, it starts to hold on to hopelessness instead of hope. But it takes a lot for that to happen. So usually it prefers to inspire and heal people. It's funny because when I was drawing it too, I was thinking it almost. We were talking about Pokemon, and part of me wonders if I was partially like inspired to make the legendary type. Like Kind of like that legendary ice bird. But yeah, just giving it like an aura of like just. Thank you. Yeah, I gotta reorganize my studio this weekend as well, so I understand. But yeah, I think it's coming out really nice. I was just stepping away from it for a second to let it sit, to make sure I like everything in it. But yeah, I think everything looks really nice in it so far. So yeah. Darken it a little bit more under. Interesting song, but whatever. This is an old one. I'm probably gonna redraw this creature actually, because maybe I'll do that tonight too. Because I did want to like do a new version of this one. Especially now that more's come out about T-Rex since I was working on this. Yeah. Thanks. Oops. Yeah, it's like this it's like mixed with a lesson. But I was gonna do, so I got this guy who's mixed, yeah. A Spinosaurus mixed with a Kelpie. I almost forgot. But yeah, Spinosaurus with a Kelpie, and then like, yeah, it really, like, these two just go together so well, and it helps that a lot of, thanks to like Delicious in Dungeon, more people know about Kelpies now, because that's what almost, that one, the dwarf guy almost got eaten by his, what he thought was his friend, which was a Kelpie. Yeah, this thing, like, like, I'm not sure how this would lure someone into the water, because like that's the whole mythology around Kelpie are. I guess it could always grow and shrink too, because it would have to, because otherwise it would turn into a giant beautiful woman to lure you to, or a giant beautiful horse to get you near the water. Yep, right. And the, but I mean, the way the internet is now, a giant beautiful woman, probably some people would walk towards that anyway. So and then they get too close, and then it would just grab them and be like, you go in the water and turn into this. So it's like, sorry, I'm not Dimitrescu, but I am hungry. So let's do an overlay layer for this one. Do, 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 do. be. It could I mean the whole point is they're shapeshifters. So they can turn into men, women, horses, dogs. They can turn into a whole bunch of different things. So maybe I'll just say it can shrink too, like kind of like Envy from Full Metal Alchemist, where it just like shrinks down into a human form when it's on land. Oops, come on, what are you doing? Oh, right, I forgot what I was doing for a second. Oh, it's at 100. I don't need 100. It's doing. It's hard to see what I'm doing right now because this is so bright and so dark. But I'm doing an overlay on this one too. But it's not really showing up, so maybe I won't worry about it too much because that works really good for certain things. But when it's this dark, I think it doesn't really do much. It's supposed to be like this dark, murky water. So, yeah, I think it's coming out nice. Oops, that's not good. That doesn't look right. I don't like that. Hang on. But yeah, I'm just playing around with different ideas for like creatures. Like I said, I have this book of different types of fairies from folklore, and it's crazy. Like everything you can think of that a fairy that could be, like every concept of like event that's ever happened is given a fairy's purpose. So good and bad. Like like there's fairies of pure joy, truth, dreaming, the future. Oh, that one's cool. Then you have, I wonder if Magda's in here. It is really fun. I like to jump. I like to challenge myself because I do more figure drawing and stuff, and like with people. But like, I really like to explore, especially with dinosaurs, because like you feel like you have a little more leeway because of like we know a lot, but we don't know everything about like what they look like. We have skeletons that give us a good idea, but we're only more recently starting to like add more mass to them on top of their skeletons to make them actually look more like what they should look like. Like how the T-Rex actually has like a lot more mass now and is like just much more imposing a creature than it used to be. Like the one in like Jurassic Park looks cool, but it looks emaciated too, which, I mean, if you think about what it's eating in the park, makes perfect sense. But plus it's not a real T-Rex, so it's essentially just a bunch of people like throwing darts at a board and trying to recreate something that they think they can recreate, but they didn't. They just grabbed some of its DNA and tried to mix it with some other creatures. Oh no, thanks for dropping in. It was really great seeing you drop by. I'm always It's always good seeing everyone. But yeah, these are... This guy's been fun to draw. This is massive, terrifying beast. And it's fun just to play around with like how the green goes together with the like black and green, because it's supposed to be a black, like a pure black creature, but adding in the green for the like to make it look more like a sea creature, or like a creature that would be on the shoreline, and then adding in the green like hellfire kind of to its mane. I thought that was pretty cool. Make it look even more like mystical. I just want to make its teeth. Give its teeth like a sheen. That's pretty. I like that. Yeah, we were saying earlier that like a lot of these are might show up, and it'd be fun to put some of these in the comic, but like this one, they would probably have to run from. We were saying, like, this one definitely looks like something you don't fight, even if you are like a guy that fights that has fought like unseelie fairies his entire life. I think Richard would be smart enough to be like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna add more onto it. I'm gonna add a layer in front of it too, so it's kind of even more murky. Like I'll probably add like another. I'll find there's a brush I have that's pretty good for like a cloudy brush. I think this is it. But yeah, this might be a pretty good one. And then just lower the opacity. Or I was going to make it so it's swimming. I might add more seaweed even. Like, more hints of the seaweed anyway. So that's probably honestly what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it swimming through a whole bunch, like a... Yeah, actually, no, you're right. Like... But that adds, like, another layer of, like... Yeah. That's just for the distance, so you can... It looks like there's more behind it now. Now you see like the faintness of like more seaweed behind it. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. I do have a brush that's more like a particle, I think. Let me see. Is this it? No, this is something else, I think. Nope, that's not it. I'll find it, but that's a good idea. Something like that. But I'll play around with it, adding like more like dots of is this the brush? Maybe play around with some different brushes and see if I can get. Oops, nope, that didn't do it. Yeah, I'm sure I have something that can do something like that. Let's move on to another one though, because I'm trying to think. That one's getting close, really close to being finished. And, like if we're just like working on the the setting for that one. I was gonna do. Where'd that one go? I had a long neck I really wanted to work on, but I was trying to think of what would be good to mix with it. Either that or the either the long neck, like brontosaurus type kind of creature, or the Quetzalcoatl one, which I have a little more ideas on that because of like, I mean, Quetzalcoatl in general is a mythical, like godlike creature, so like any kind of serpent mixed with that bird would be pretty cool. Like not Jormungandr though, that's too big. um, Thank you. I wonder if there is a fairy that's good for. The problem is I don't know if they get that big. Usually fairies are small things that can pop in and out of reality. Like trolls are some of the biggest. Although some are like conceptually don't have a size, so. I'll even have Morgana Le Fay in here. That's cool. Oh, here's the thing. The Lananshi. That's the thing that's like I believe this is the vampiric thing that takes your life in exchange for inspiration. And one showed up in the first season of Ancient Magus Bride. And but she fell in love with the artist that the author that she was going to feed on, and so she never actually did. I heard some troubling news that studio might not be doing too well. So, but I'm hoping that's not true. Yeah, that's true. Naga. Yes, that could be a thing. That make it more humanoid. Well, that'd be kind of cool, like a humanoid Quetzalcoatl mix with like a long serpentine tail, or like no, that'd be for something else. Like a sphinx would be good for something else, probably. I'm not sure what, but there's got to be something better for a sphinx. Or Yeah. Because like the trick is obviously so many fairies are based off humanoid shapes, but some of them really pull that to it is like the extreme, especially these dark fairies. Oh, there's this one called spunkies. They lead us into danger, and they have a really creepy, stretched out face, kind of. That's kind of cool. Huh. Then there's other ones that are like the ear poker, and it's like, I wonder what they do. Like, guys, the shin kicker. They hide under your the toast the toast of oh hey Azura, I'm glad you could drop by. Yeah, feel free to lurk. Sorry, here I'll show you what I was working on. Well, not that. I made some more progress on that, and I made a lot of progress on this today so far. So this is a Dinosaurs mixed with I lost the name of the creature, but it's essentially this creature that gives you hope. Essentially, it holds onto your dreams when you feel you've lost them. So yeah, like, and this thing is the exact opposite because it's based off of a kelpie, which I mean, if you've seen, I don't know if you've seen Delicious in Dungeon, but yeah, it's essentially a horse that turns into a carnivorous monster when it's near water. Like it lures you there, and if you jump on its back, you're stuck, and then it just pulls you underwater and eats you. Sometimes it could even pretend to be a beautiful man or woman, depending on what it's hunting. But yeah, there's even like treasure guardians. That's cool. I didn't know that. I wonder if that's where like later on D&D got the idea for mimics, or if this is something that this guy came up with because of mimics. A diet hob. What's a diet hob? Is that just a thin hobgoblin? I'll look through this some more later. I don't want to be holding you guys up with that. So, but I'll play around with the let's play around with the idea of the Naga mixed with Quetzalcoatl. I'm gonna look up a picture of one though. Where'd it go? I'm not gonna use that. I'll just go to. I was almost about to go to Pinterest, and I'm like, no, that's gonna be a lot of unreliable stuff. Is this it? Yes, this is. Okay. Ooh, I got a skeleton here too. That's helpful. Look at that neck! Goodness gracious. Wait, is this the right picture? Skeleton though? I just... Yeah. That wingspan is crazy. They look like an alien creature. Yeah, they're just so big. They look like... They're just like, hey, what if kaiju pterodactyls? Except I believe yeah, except these are dinosaurs, where I think are pterodactyls. No, that's something else. Never mind. Pteranodons are the ones that are lizards. Yeah. It gets divergent parallel evolution gets very confusing. Where it's like, oh, these two things look identical to each other, but they're two different species. It's like, cool. I'm confused. Oh, this picture looks so... This artist rendering looks so cool. And terrifying. It looks like a monster hunter beast because its mouth is... It's eating a dinosaur in its mouth. Ah! So... But I love it. I don't know. I think I might have to go dragon with this. Maybe. Or... But, like, I have to think of something specific to go if I'm going to go dragon. Even because... Or, wait, isn't there... Huh. I guess there isn't. Because you have the Leviathan for the ocean and Behemoth for the land, but it's interesting that they never came up with something for the air. But I guess they didn't feel they needed to because Behemoth was so tall that they felt it kind of took the air too. But I'm just surprised there isn't anything mixed in with that though. I guess kind of the Nephilim kind of would have been that. Oh, the rock, yeah! Let's do that. Let's mix a rock with a... Yeah. They were the masters of genies. In fact, that's how in the original Arabian Nights story, I believe that's how he lost the genie, is because someone tricked him into saying to put a bunch of rocks over the fireplace or something, and he's like, what? I'm out of here. You offended me. Goodbye. It's like, that's my master you're talking about. That's one version I heard anyway. But I don't think that would have made it Robin Williams angry though. Just a guess. Hey, what am I doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna look up I think they just look like big... Yeah, they're just a really big bird. And they do have a tail too, like a snake. I think they can have a serpent tail sometimes. Yeah, they're crazy powerful creatures. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at your other comment about the rock hydrax. Yeah, closest relative is an elephant. Yeah, well, and like hippos and whales are they diverge from each other. So yeah, and whales are much more chill than hippos. At least what we see of them. Hopefully that doesn't change in the future. But they seem much more chill. I'm gonna give it, the back legs are gonna look more like hawk talons than... Although when they're flying, they're probably balled up, or they're more backwards facing. So just gonna make sure that that's the case. Oh, could you imagine if this thing could do like the what falcons do, where they dive bomb and ball up their fists, like something this big falling from the sky at like 200 miles an hour. would be like a meteor. The cool thing is in Final Fantasy 15, you fight a rock. It's one of the hidden monster hunts later in the game. It was a pretty rough fight. That thing put up a. That thing lasted a while. I don't know if I want to go feathers or if I want to go tail. I might make the tail kind of like the feathers, kind of like a tail. To stick with that like serpentine kind of feel. Although at this angle, the way those are oriented doesn't make sense. So they would be more like this, going behind it because it's going really fast. Yeah, right? That would be so scary. Giving a humpback whale the disposition of a hippo and legs. And there's our next kaiju. It's like, well, there goes our entire civilization. Cuz whales are actually smarter than hippos, I believe. Yeah. At least they seem like it. Because hippos just seem a little bit more a lot of very territorial, very like reactionary. Because I mean, I guess because of where they live. Although I think that like nature, like their very physique kind of like bulletproofs them against everything around them. So that's why it's so surprising that they are as aggressive as they are. Because like a lion would like break its jaw if it tried to eat a hippo, even before the hippo starts fighting back. So to think that they're like on top of that, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, also, I'm just the angriest sumo wrestler you ever met. I'm gonna put you in a headlock. It's gonna hurt so bad. Yeah, exactly. Listen here, brother. Yeah, they're scary. They're far scarier than crocs. I think the only croc that's scarier than that comes close to them is saltwater crocs in Australia, but that's Australia. So you have to go to the land of the most incredibly like evolved creatures, to land of monster tier creatures to like combat against a hippo. That's why whenever I look back and I'm like, those commercials where it's like, go come to Australia, it's chill, and I'm like, maybe some places, but I'm gonna need to see more proof. I'm sure it is in certain areas, but like I would never go on like exploring the middle of Australia. Oh, for sure, cassowaries are so, yeah. They're they are dinosaurs. I mean, they literally are dinosaurs because of current classifications of what birds are. But also, they forgot that dinosaurs went away. They're just like extinct. No, no, no. You're mistaken, sir. I'm standing in front of you. It's like I'm right here. Don't act like I'm not standing in front of you as a terrifying beast. I will just kick you into oblivion. Yeah, yeah, it's them, emus, and cassowaries, emus, and what was the third one? There's another one. But they're all really something else. I imagine it would have like really thin feathers, but that are long. Like that. I like that. Kind of look like a vulture almost. Ostrich. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, no, that's definitely in the same family as that. Yeah, because like the blue-billed stork is like their chill cousin, who's just like, "Hi, I'm really big, but I'm not gonna attack you. I'm just gonna scare the living daylights out of you when I show up in your backyard while you're just gardening." Like, "Hi, how's it going?" No, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just here to chill. Right? That is so crazy. A bird that nearly went extinct because of cats. Well, to be fair, a lot of birds almost went extinct because of cats, but them especially. Like stray cats that got on that island, just like nearly like erased them from history. That's why I'm always like, if you want your cat outside, you really should make sure that it's closer. You supervise it a little bit because they like to hunt, and it's not for eating all the time. And I love cats, so I'm not bad mouthing them. I'm just saying that they are what they are. It's in their nature. It is funny that there's that one that's like smaller than your hand, and it's like one of the most vicious cats of all. Like has a higher kill rate than any of the other like felines out there. Because I mean, it goes after its own. It goes after everything else. It's just like murks anything on it in its area. It's like an apex predator where it is. I'm sure they like the enclosure a lot anyway, and it's far safer because I've had friends who their cat got outside and it got really hurt by it. Like even my grandmother's got really hurt by a neighborhood cat that got in a fight with, and you don't want that. That's a vet bill that you just don't need. Like I would whenever I get a cat, I'd want it to be safe. Its job is cuddles. That's all. Just give me cuddles. And make me feel better on bad days. If I ever do get a cat, I'm going to definitely get a black one, though. I love... Black cats are my favorite. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like calicos, too. But, I think black cats are just given, like, the superstition, or just, like, I guess people's just preference pushes them away from them in some cases. So, I think they deserve... Huh. Is it purple? No, I'm just kidding. Is that why? No. That would be cool. Like, oh, that'd be so cool if cats were bioluminescent. Could you? Oh, I love that. Aw, that sounds so. That sounds really nice. Yeah, I love, I love that name. Because I was thinking about that today. Like, what would I name a black cat? And that's a good one. Maybe I'd name mine Vivi. A fun fact I learned actually from Casual Geographic, I believe. Yeah, it was him. Is that all black like feline predator cats, like all of those are are panthers. So like you can have a lion panther, like because usually there's I believe there's a classification like pumas. Some I think people are thinking of pumas sometimes when they're thinking panther. And in the case of the, ironically, the hero Black Panther, he's probably actually a jaguar. Yeah, I think the Vivi would be a good one. Which is ironic because the Killmonger turned that's what he became, which I thought was a shame because I thought Killmonger's a cooler name for him. So like, why not just keep him the way he is? Just give him like super strength but don't give him a suit, or like make it so his suit's like just puts like patterns on his skin. That would have been cooler. But I didn't write the movie, so that's what I would have done. I would have been like, this actor is too cool looking with the get up you have him in to cover him up. Like they'll show Topher Grace's face in Spider-Man 3 for no reason, but they cover up Michael B. Jordan's face when he looks so cool. What the heck, guys? Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love Final Fantasy 9. That game just, I think we've talked about it a little bit, but like the dynamic difference between Vivi and the main villain, Kuja, wasn't it Kuja? Yeah, I think it was Kuja. Is so like a nihilist versus an optimist is so fun. Cause like Vivi's just like, every day's a blessing. Gee whiz, mister, I'm so glad I met you. Today's so amazing, even if tomorrow's not gonna happen. And meanwhile, like, Kuja's just like, every day's purposeless because every day could be the last. It's like, if only these two had met each other. The adventures of Kuja and Vivi. Could you imagine? It's like, hey buddy, old pal, let's go outside and have a great day. He's like, okay, little guy. And that's the end of the game. No angry old man, no like Bahamut raining fire down on cities. Just two pals having a good time. And the princess doesn't have to have all that horrible stuff happen to her. she that was rough. Poor Dagger. Like she's definitely one of the like female leads that I definitely like empathize with them. Well, a lot of them have it rough. I mean, in the next game you have Yuna, and she's on a terrible mission. So yeah, but Dagger with just like losing two moms. Spoilers, I guess. But yeah, I won't say how. But yeah, wow, so sad. Yeah, exactly. He kind of like starts off very optimistic because but once he finds out the truth, he kind of becomes like really depressed. But because Vivi's there, he's basically like, no, 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 no. You told me this. We already went through this with me. It's like, buddy, it's all good. Every day's a blessing. Remember, we talked about this. Like maybe tomorrow won't happen, but hey, we're together today. Everything's good. Can Square Enix just make me like a VV like therapy AI that just like says that to me every day? Oh my gosh, Aiko, that was so sad. Yeah, everything with her too. She had it so rough too. All she wanted was just like some semblance of family after everything that happened to her. And to live alone for that long. Yeesh. Well, all of them had really sad stories. Like, you had I forget her name, but the dragoon girl, the rat girl. She was like her backstory was so sad, and like Steiner was less of a sad story. His was more of a like him coming to terms with like what loyalty means kind of story. But I grew to like Steiner actually. Like when I first played the game the first time through, I was like, what a square. This guy's a jerk. But then I thought about it. I'm like, well, his job is just he's doing his job. He's supposed to protect the princess at all costs. So there's a reason he's very protective of her. Freya, yeah, she's. I should have known. That's like, yeah. But she, yeah. Everything with her, like, you go to her village and every all that, and then like what happens to them, and you're just like, oh my gosh. It made me so mad in that game when I realized I couldn't get her final weapon. I went through the whole game and I accidentally sold her first weapon, and then I'm like, okay, I'll just go back and buy a new one. There is no going back. Once you sell that weapon, it's gone from the game. It's like, no! Why? I just wanted to be powerful and use her in my team. Yeah, exactly. He's like the straight man. Although there were times I wish that Beatrix was on your team instead. And I'm sure there's ever times where he wanted her on the team too. Later on. Kind of giving it like a cassowary thing with like the beak being dark. It was a shame you couldn't play more with her though. I really liked her character model and like just her. Would have added another girl character to the team. Would have been kind of nice. But I understood why. They had to have her for the other side of the story. Yeah, that too. She would have been nerfed down so much if she was on your team, I bet. Not fair. I forget that meme, but it essentially is that where it's just like when they're fighting you and it just shows like this like god tier like anime character, and then like it shows this like a baby or something when they join your team or something, and it's like, no, why can't they except unless it's part of the story and they're not supposed to lose, like when in Final Fantasy VII, I, I haven't played the remake, but in the original game, when Sephiroth was on your team, he was like, he was keeping you alive. He was so OP that he's just like, would one hit everything essentially, or if it wasn't one hit, it was like maybe two on the dragons. But yeah, he was crazy powerful. Yeah, she was. I liked her better. I'll be right back. I just need to get some more water. But yeah, I think the main reason I'm so disappointed in that guy, the bounty hunter guy, is I love his design. I hate his abilities. I think even his story isn't that bad. It's just like if they gave him better things to do than just throw garbage at things. Like if his moveset was more like Zell from Final Fantasy 8, where he, like you can put in combos and like he does like combo moves, that would be fun. But no, he's just a dude with claws, and I'm like, you're not even as cool as Shadow. He had a dog. And his dog killed a ghost train in my game. That was the funniest thing to see. A dog just tackle a train. She did. I think that's why they might have realized how like his didn't work, so they made hers more about like alchemy, like mixing things together to make stronger things, which was a better idea. And made her more useful early in the game, especially. Okay. Well, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, there's... So I have the art book for Final Fantasy IX, and I love that book. It's really cool. Because it has a bunch of the monsters. Sure. And a lot of them are really, like... I love the creature design in 9. Like, as well as the character design. I feel they really should go back to that. Like... Not because the new stuff looks bad, but I think they're really focusing too much on realism now, it feels. And that's not really necessary anymore. When your graphics are this good, being real doesn't really mean much, I don't think. If it's part of the story like in 16, that's fine, but I think 17 they really should go back to cartoony. Cuz there's no reason to stick with realism unless it's like really important to the story. But even then, I feel like it's kind of a crutch because it's like, if it has to be ultra realistic to be impactful, then it's not good storytelling. Like, I mean, Gravity Falls has like episodes that just are heart wrenching and they're cartoon characters. So, like, or like Digital Circus. Like, every time one of those episodes comes out, I'm like, welp, I'm gonna have to like reserve some time to just like curl into a ball because I know it's gonna do that to me every time. Like, it almost threw off my stream one day because I started watching the sixth episode and I was thinking about it through the whole stream and I'm just like, oh no, what's gonna happen? But yeah, I really hope they do go back to a more fun art style. It's just weird because you think that they would look at like, well, I guess they're really... It just would... They must know that people are tired of realism. Or maybe I'm just tired. It used to be really fun when it was like... For a while, like 10 is a gorgeous game. And I love that art style. And well... 12? 12 was okay. I liked some of the combat, but the characters are so forgettable. Like, I can tell you their names, but like their personalities are just like a random mishmash in my head right now. Like, I only know Fran's name because she's the Playboy bunny girl, and then you have Balthier. They're the two I know because they're the pirates. Everyone else, it's like a toss-up day to day. Like, maybe I'll remember one of their names, but unlikely. Because they're just like so... I don't want to say milquetoast, but they're just not... Well, they're not as unique because the story... It feels like the setting is trying to be a character over them. And I don't like the main character. Yeah, Balthier was... That's the problem, though, is like... He was great, but even his story, when it gets to the end, I'm like, wait, after all this, you just have a dad issue thing going on with your dad being evil? I'm like, it would have been kind of cooler if you had something else going on. Oh well, I'll take it, I guess. His dad's like an evil inventor working for the I guess bad guys. I forget. Honestly, that like I was saying, that story that didn't stick in my head as much as some of the other ones. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I like the game, but the story itself just did not stick in my head. Like Balthier and Fran are the only two I remember. I know there's the orphan kids, but like his dad was surprising, yes. Because it wasn't his dad Sid? Yeah, his dad was the Sid. Yeah, you're right. I think the problem was by that point in the game, I had been grinding so much that I was just kind of like, when it came to the story boss fights, I was like, I would just like roll up my sleeve and be like, okay, pal, let's get this over with. It was kind of just like, okay, old man, let's go. Time for me to just like beat you into submission now. Even with the final boss, I was not intimidated at all because I had like done some serious like power leveling the first time through the game. Like I got the final like spear that the strongest weapon in the game, and I just walk up to that final boss and I was laughing. I'm like, okay, buddy, sure, turn into Bahamut. I don't care. I'll take you with one hand behind my back, with half my party gone. Bring it on. Oh, without a doubt. No contest. Yeah, no, I still liked it. Like I said, I had fun with that final boss fight because I was just like, I just was like, it was one of those situations kind of like with it was like a flashback to playing Final Fantasy VII where I'm like, well, to be fair, it was a flashback to the second time I played Final Fantasy VII because the first time I played it, I barely beat Sephiroth. The second time, I got Knights of the Round, and yeah, that fight goes differently when you have that move. When you have Knights of the Round, that fight is a very different fight. It's the push button to win fight. Which is funny because I've talked to other people and they're always like, you must have cheated or something because that boss fight was so much harder. And I'm like, you're just coping. It's like, you weren't as high level as you said you were if that boss fight was hard. Once you get Knights of the Round and you're, at least for the PC version, that boss fight was not hard. See, I haven't played that version yet. I hear it. I really want to play it because, like I said, I like the characters. I just can't remember a lot of them, and I think if they had specific jobs, I would. Because Lady Ash, I liked her as a character to a degree, but she kind of didn't have anything to do. Oh yeah, I did that the second time through too. I mean, you can't. You can only use it in the temple, but oh well. That's still pretty cool. And Emerald, what? Emerald was a harder fight because Ruby was I cheated. I kind of cheated, or I like. I did the you mess with the what is it, like not the coding of the game, but you basically you take out two of your members and you only fight with Cloud, and you just keep summoning Hades and Knights of the Round, and you attach you put mana absorb on I think on Hades, and then Knights of the Round you do something else, and it will always freeze him and he'll just be stuck and not get to have a turn for the for the entire boss fight. It was so much fun. I just sat there and I'm like, I would just click the two buttons, walk away, go get a sandwich, come back. It was ridiculous. Knights of the Realm was such a long spell. But I loved it. I don't like that. How are the summons in the 12 Zodiac version of 12? Because that was my only other complaint, was that the summons in 12 didn't make you feel very powerful. They made you feel more like you were gambling your characters away, because like all of a sudden it was just Ash on the battlefield with like one big creature. And sometimes that was useful, but most of the times it was like, I really hope this works, because there's a good chance it won't. Because some of those creatures, like the T-Rex in that game, went into like a berserk state, and if your party members weren't there to keep you alive, you were in trouble. Like that thing was like so fierce. And I'm not talking the one that you find like just like walking around in the wild. I'm talking about the one you hunt later on. Yeah, same. I kind of felt I felt the same. I kind of wished I had I want to fix this. I don't like this. They really deviated a lot, and I don't really quite understand why they decided to go that far away from like what they've done in the past. I think they were just trying to experiment with something new, but it just didn't work. It felt like it didn't feel like they were part of the world, like you say. If they really felt like they were just like something separate that did belong there. And even summoning them in a battle felt like you were just like pulling something from a different game almost. Whereas like in 10, it felt like they belonged. And in like even in later games, like 15, they still feel like they're a part of the world. And I think 15 got kind of a hard rap because of the fact that like 13 verses fell apart. But I liked it, honestly. Like, yeah, oh, those were good. See, the funny thing is, 8, I love the summons, but I didn't like the limit breaks were kind of eh. Like, I didn't quite understand. All I would do is like with Squall, I would just hit the button as fast as possible, which I don't believe was the purpose of that meter. I think you were supposed to actually hit it at a certain time, but I'm like, no, 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 I have to hit it fast. So yeah, that was a bit confusing, but otherwise, like, I thought the summons were so much like Diablo's looked awesome. I love that summon. I used it all the time early in the game. And it's like a spell that in previous games was kind of like not that great, like gravity, like isn't that great of a spell, but when you attach it to a creature that can buff it up, it suddenly becomes a really good spell. Yeah, cuz and yeah, Eden was pretty cool. Kind of not the what I would imagine a last like a secret summon would be, but it was still it was still interesting. It was impossible not to get like a perfect score on its damage, though. I mean, unless you walked away from the computer, I guess, because its damage. I mean, its summon time is so long that you could easily just sit there and push the button to boost it up, and you're just like, okay, I got it. It's like, this isn't going to be hard at all. Which was a nice break, because some of them you really had to be fast. Like some of them are like, oh, you better have like a super fast hand, because like Ifrit early on it was like you had to be like super quick to get them buffed up, and you're not going to get them all the way, no matter how hard you try. You know what? I'm going to add some more gold to this. It needs gold. changes this to gold. Not red. Or maybe we'll add gold edge to the front and back. Oh, cool. See, I keep almost playing that game, and then something comes up that I need to do. Like, it's that's the only thing. I wish I had more time because like I'd love to play an MMO like that. Like if I could just find some time, I would definitely give that one a try. I almost tried Elder Scrolls Online, but yeah, that's also a lot of time. So I was like, maybe not. But because I have Final Fantasy VII Remake on my computer, but I just haven't found time to play it. Like, I'd love to play it. I just don't have time at the moment. Because, like, I have the original, like, the first part of the game I haven't even played yet. And there's already Rebirth out, and I'm sure they're already working on the next one now because Rebirth has been out for a little while. So, yeah. But, like, I bet. Oh, wait, you're literally fighting a dungeon? Okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, he is the castle in 9, so he would be huge. Because even in, like, was he in 8 as well? I can't remember if he, yeah, I think he was in it. I think he showed up in 8 as well. I don't recall from the early games if he was in those. Or if maybe 8 was his first appearance. I think another thing that really makes me want to go back and play some Final Fantasy, though, is the music. I really want to hear that music again. It's so good. Like, 8 had such a great soundtrack. And Eyes on Me is just like a gorgeous song. Like, for anyone who hasn't played those, I recommend even just like listening to that. It's really like quite a good, really good song. Oh wow. Jeez. Trying to think if I want to put something maybe up here actually. Make this bright up here. No, I need to check that out. I'm sure it's really good because like the one for even 11, I saw that back in the day, and that was really cool. And if that's that good, then 14 must be way better. Because by then they figured out how to. I mean, their team just got better, honestly. Like they knew how to make MMOs by then. Because I've only heard good things about that game, honestly. And so many people have tried to get me to play it. Oh wow, we've been going for a while. That's okay, it's a longer stream, so I don't mind. Probably call it sometime soon, but no, it's really fun. But like, yeah, like, yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that 14, like when it first came out, wasn't great, and I think that I think they kind of like had like a power session after that, and like they sat down and they're like, we gotta do better for our fans. It's like they'll forgive us if we give them something good, and then they forgot that when they made 13. I mean, well no, they already made 13, so I just don't understand what they were thinking when they made 13, honestly. Like, you make a game where there's no freedom at all. At all. Like, they're just like, okay, here's a road. You can walk down it. That's your freedom. And I'm like, but what about, like, can I choose where to go on that road? No. No, we choose where you go. It's like, wait, but I want to choose. I bought the game. Oh, cool. I like that. Because in 14, he's isn't he the villain in? Yeah, he's the enemy in 15. He's one of the big bads. Isn't it him? Man, it's been so long. I'm trying to remember. I think it was him. Because my only gripe with Final Fantasy 15 was the ending of the game was a little confusing. Everything else about it was really fun, but the ending was just like, wait, what? I'm gonna make lightning coming off of him. Not in this shade, though. Do 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 do. Oh, okay. Huh. Because 15, my only issue with that one was there was a moment where, like, someone reveals something about the main character, and I'm just like, I should have been reading some of these lores. There's, like, books in the game that tell you lore, and I'm like, I should have really been reading those instead of fishing, shouldn't I have? It's like, I think I skipped my homework. I didn't know there was homework in this game, but apparently I skipped it. Like, oops. It's like, guys, can I have subtitles for my subtitles? And he's like, you're actually this guy, and I'm like, okay. Can you elaborate a little more? Talk to me like I'm 5. It's like buddy, I've been fishing this whole game. I have no idea what you're saying. If you want to talk about that giant fish I caught, I can tell you everything about that. But I have no idea about any of the lore in this game. I'm sorry. Fishing was just too much fun. It was. 15 fishing was like was just like really well done. Even like when it got harder, it was fun. Cause like there's like a final like boss fish you have to get. Oh wow. Jeez. That's impressive. Oops, that's not the brush I want. I keep going back to this brush accidentally. I'm trying to find the cloud brush. Nope. Clouds, where are you? No, you're not clouds. Clouds, I want clouds. Poof, clouds, poof, poof. Here you are. Here's my clouds. Kinda. Oops, wrong layer. Oops, I want it below him. Or her. Yeah. Ooh, what if its wings are like generating storms? That'd be kind of cool. I'll play around with it, but maybe it looks more like it's just got smelly wings, like like it's like Pigpen from. Maybe it's even darkening the clouds underneath it too. That could make it look more like it's actually influencing the landscape. Like it's making like these Gozar the Grazarian clouds underneath it. Poof poof. Yeah, that could work. And then I'll just add more lightning to them. Like kind of like, so like little storms happening in them. But they're lighting up and. Yeah. Yeah, I think lighting them up might help them a little bit, make them look more ionized, kind of. Maybe even like change it to blue as well, kind of maybe. Nah, it's usually one or the other, kind of. It depends on like what's. But yeah, that's true too. Yeah, you're right. They should be light a little bit on the tops, even if they are storm clouds. They should have some light. That would help with not making them not look like they're just like dirt too. I think it kind of like be forming into darkness underneath him, underneath the creature. But like above, it's more like that, where they're like these pockets of darkness in them, but they're yeah, that could work. We'll build up on them, give them more mass. But yeah, 13 was such a I bought it and I returned it in a week. And I only bought it because renting wasn't an option at that point. Like if Blockbuster had still been around, I probably would have just rented it like I did with 10, and I would have never had to buy it. Because it was such a waste of money, because by the point 13 was around, you weren't getting enough money back for games to make it even worth bringing them back to the store. It was annoying. I lost a good amount on that game, so I'm very angry at it. Like, I hate Snow so much. From the minute I saw him, I disliked him. I don't like Lightning much either, but... And the thing that annoys me is the only character I kind of liked, I don't remember his name. He was the guy with the guy with the afro who had the little bird that was supposed to be a chocobo, I guess, that lived in his afro. Which I'm like, why does a chocobo look that small? They're ostriches. They should be much bigger than that. You know, like, did you play any 13, or did you skip that one totally and not lose your money like I did? Because that was such a shame. Losing all that. Maybe I can even draw other bird. Maybe I'll draw a silhouette of one in the background in this cloud to show what they're doing, what this one's doing. How far did he get? Because I honestly, like, I played the opening part of the game up until I think a little past where the kid with the I think I got to the paradigm shift tutorial, and then I'm like, I'm done. Well, because I'm like, okay, so your main mechanic in this game doesn't want me to play the game. It's like everything about that game was just like, no, we can play this game better than you can. Just hit auto. Just hit the auto attack button every time. We'll play the game for you. And I'm like, but I didn't pay $60 for a game that plays itself. Why didn't you guys just make a Alexander? further than me, because I think I didn't even get to Bahamut. I mean, I didn't even get a Freet. I think I stopped on that boss fight where you got a Freet. So kudos to him for having a much more patience than I had back then. Because I was just like, I was so mad. like these characters are not likable. They don't make sense on any level. Because like the kid was supposed to be a scaredy cat, but he fought monsters still. So I'm like, wait, is he a scaredy cat or is he not? I mean, I know that you have to have him fight for the game mechanics to work, but they've found ways around that in other games. So I'm like, why couldn't they just make it so he has to be protected during the monster fights by the other character because she wasn't scared? See, 8, I think, would have been so much better if the junction system was better. The only thing I don't like about 8 is the junction system. Everything else about that game is so cool. And then they were like, what if we added this junction system? And everyone's like, but it sounds complicated. No, they'll understand it. It's like, but I don't get it. How does it work? What? And then you see you put Ultima on this character, but you don't get Ultima until later in the game. Oh, that's okay. They'll be okay waiting. No, they won't. Because that's my only gripe with 8. I love the story, but I don't like the junction system because you don't get to feel any sense of power until very late in the game. Because by then you're late in the game, you can like go places and level up monsters to give them stronger spells so that you can steal those spells. But like early on, you're just like taking like fire and then maybe Firaga later on if you're lucky. So I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, it's like the story's great, the characters are fun. I love the whole thing with what is it? Living in the other, going into the other people's bodies. That part of the story is awesome. I love that part. But yeah, if you want to cast exactly, thank you. That's the big thing. I had so many times when I was fighting the Tonberries, and I'd be like, okay, the best thing to hit them with is Ultima, and just smash their life away. And it's like, cool, but that's your strongest junction spell, so you're going to weaken yourself significantly the minute you cast that. And I'm like, well, shoot, yeah, that's right. Otherwise, very cool game. And I mean, don't get me wrong, even 9 had things about it that I gripe about, so it's not like any of them are like 100% perfect, but I still like them all way better than 13. Because there's things about 13, 15 people hate, but I can look past them because the things I like about that game are just so much fun. Like I said, how I like the villain actually in 15 a lot, even though he's kind of a little confusing. Yes, it does. But the thing I loved about 9 was the abilities you got that made you stronger against certain things, so you could plan out your fights. Which your first time through the game might be hard, but after the first time you play the game, it becomes really fun. Where you're just trying to like... Yeah, you're just trying to come up with this cool like system for like it's like okay, I'm in this area. I know these kind of monsters are here, so I'll use the man eater ability because most of them are humanoid monsters, and that made it fun because you had to plan a little bit. And seven had that with the mana. I mean, with the materia, where like you had to be like, okay, I need to equip this materia because these monsters are weak against this, and you could even put like elements on your weapons. Like you could be like, you can put like fire on your sword, which they made. I guess they brought that back for the remake and improved it so that like your weapon looks like the element that you equip to it, which is really cool. So yeah, I like that a lot because I really miss the mana. I mean, the materia. Like, I think that's why. Maybe that's why Seven's like one of the most fondly. I mean, other than the story and Sephiroth, materia was just such an easy concept to grasp versus some of the other systems. Because it's just like, okay, here's here's your healing mana and materia, and here's your this mana, and here's materia, and you can link these two together with support, which I mean tells you what it does in its name. It's a support, so it was nice and simple. In fact, I almost think that if 8 had come out after 9, if 9 and 8 were switched around, Junction wouldn't have been as big of a jump. Because I think it's just that, like, you're going from, like, Materia, which is so simple, to Junction, which is a lot. Yeah, I love that. That you could, like, equip a weapon, and it gave weapons purpose. Because you could just be like, okay, I'm just holding onto this weapon, and it'll be useful for this amount of time, but like you realize later on you're like, oh wait, no, this character could learn this thing too. So from this garnet stone, or like when you get different characters and later on in the game, you're like, oh, they can learn from these stones too. So cool, awesome. I don't have to. These old stones have purpose now. That was fun. And the fact that you could put inlet, yeah, could you do that in 9? I think you could, right? You could. Anyone could. Can anyone summon, or was it just? No, it was just that there was 2 summoners. That's what it was. And if you wanted to do a lot of summoning, you would put them both in your party. But like, I also loved in 9 the team up attacks. They brought that back from very early games. Cause I think that was in like, I think 5. Was it 5 or 4 that had? I think 4 had that. I don't remember if 5 had that. And I'm pretty sure 6 didn't have it, which is a shame because that would have been really fun. I would have loved to see like, I would have loved to see what? Gosh, I'm forgetting all their names except for like the obvious ones like Shadow. I think, yeah. Anyway, it would have been fun to see those guys team up. 2, yeah, okay, 2 was the one. But team ups were awesome. I love team ups. They really made things fun. It is funny that everyone's favorite villain had mommy issues and dressed like someone from the Gap. I mean, not from the Gap, from the Hot Topic. But I like him too. Honestly, I like Sephiroth is cool. He's totally comfortable being the villain, and I like that in a villain. Because, and to be fair, I gotta hand it to Square Enix for all their villains. They never made you feel like that they felt too bad for being the villain, which I kind of get tired of. In some stories, I feel it's overused. Like, even in 15, that guy was like, he was pretty chill with. He was okay with being the villain. He was like, yeah, okay. Like he was messing with you from the beginning, like a Loki kind of character. And like in 9, he was kind of more like, I don't think that was the nice change for 9 though, is that he was less of a like personal kind of attack on. He kind of like, didn't he like know Titus, but Titus didn't remember him or something? Or I can't remember how it was. It's been a while since I played. I need to go back and play that game again. But I'm pretty sure he remembered Titus. And like Titus was just like, "Who are you? What? Why are you mean to me? Why are you hurting my girlfriend's kingdom?" She's like, "I didn't say I was your girlfriend." Yeah, right? I forget how it was with between those two. I think I could have sworn that Kuja knew Titus, but Titus didn't know Kuja. Is how it went down. I think it wasn't like he was. I think it was more like a like, why are you here kind of thing, and less of a like. There was nothing personal between them. It's just that he remembered who he was. He's just like, what? Why are you here? You're the perfect boy. You're the one that. I'm the failure. I'm the one that should be angry. Why are you here? I mean, at least it's easier to remember than the really older ones, because like one of them you fight a tree at the end. So I think that was. I think that's 2, but it could be 4. It was either 2 or 4 where you fight a tree at the end. And yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, that's in space. You fight a tree in space. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sure. So for me, it's never been about like believability is the problem with those games, because they've never tried to make that a thing. It's usually just like I don't like the stories at issue usually sometimes, but I'd never hold it against them for weird things when it comes to like the actual plot. Oh, I 6 was really good. I'd say give a chance. Like if you ever get a chance to like grab 6 on Steam or when it's on sale or something, I'd say that's a good one. So is and I never played 5, but some people like it. And 4 was good, but I don't think I ever. That was the one with the. I never beat that one. It was. But then again, I never beat Chrono Trigger either. So, and I know that's a good game, even though I never beat it. Sure. Probably gonna call out pretty soon. Starting to get tired, but longer. I kind of like this like side view, like kind of like a jet plane kind of view. I like that. I might add I'm gonna probably add a blur to this too, just to make it look faster. find the blur. Oh, you know what I have to do? Would have been smart to do this. Yeah. Oops, no. Thanks everyone for sticking around with me throughout this. It's been really fun working on this. I'm having a blast here working on these. Might call it pretty soon, but I'm having so much fun. It's hard to say goodbye to this. Like, get rid of this background actually because I don't need it. It's not as much anymore. Kind of distracting from the lightning coming off of him. Her. Oh yeah, some random fun news. I actually someone at work's trying to get me in. We're trying to do a D&D game. We're trying to set up a group, so that'll be fun. I've never done it. It's been so long since I played. It'd be nice to give it a shot again, because and to just meet people outside of work, make some friends at work, because I kind of feel like a lot of people there. I like, they're nice, but I just don't really like understand or associate with them or relate, I should say. Like we're just very different people. Like I start talking about Disney and they smile and they're nice, but they're like, I don't know anything about this. I'm sorry. Like, it's okay. Oops. But yeah, it'll be fun having like someone to actually play that with. Maybe if I know how to do that too. No. Maybe, but I kind of want. If that's the case, I kind of want to play around with this a little bit more and on scale and everything. And like that's crazy. And that's too bright. Like maybe like very dingy. No, not quite that dingy, but like in that school where it's not too bright. Maybe? I don't know. Actually, sorry. I don't know how I did that. I have I think it needs it's natural. It needs to have like a at least like the hint of the desert underneath the clouds. So that's what should be down here actually. It's like a hint of a horizon line. Ooh, maybe it's making a sandstorm actually. That an ionized sandstorm would be kind of cool. Like maybe add some. You can clap your hands. Maybe it's turning into that down here, actually. Maybe not. It was a fun idea for a second, but I think it just doesn't work really well. I think, where are the clouds? When? Clouds? I think you're right here, yeah. Cut away at them a little bit. They're too big. I think I went overboard with the clouds, so I'm gonna cut away at them. Kind of make them encroaching in on the area, kind of with this creature. Might be better. Oh, thank you. Yeah, actually, I was just gonna go as long as I had Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it around now too. It's because it's been like 3.5, almost 4 hours now. This is one of my longer streams. So yeah. Thank you so much for sticking around. It was really fun talking about Final Fantasy, especially, and anything with lore is always fun. So yeah. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll be back again. Actually, I'm probably gonna be off on Wednesday. I probably do one on Tuesday, because I'm doing something on Wednesday afternoon. So, yeah. Look forward to that. Just because I want to make sure I can do the stream, and I don't want to miss it. So, have a great night. Yeah. And for everyone else, thanks for dropping by, and enjoy your weekend. I'll be back again next week. So, and I'll be streaming on Twitch tomorrow night. So, yeah. Take care.